Roswitha woke up and see Leon was not on the bed. She relived that I am saved from embarrassment. Then she rise up from the bed, her pajamas slipped off and dropped on her feet. She walked and find cloths in the wardrobe. She was standing in front of the wardrobe thinking, "This is the first time I've broken my principles. I exposed my weakness in front of a human and fell asleep in his arms. What I did now, she has to feel embarrassed in front of him." She's slowly dressing up because her mind was not here. She was thinking all about the night and that she showed the weakness to human. As the queen of the Silver Dragon clan, she felt it is really unreal to do so, as she has high authority. She is not going to believe that she did this kind of things. If anyone from outside find out what happened, I will surely erase their memories. This is so embarrassing. I must never tell anyone. She didn't want anyone to know what had transpired between her and Leon. Now everything has happened, she could not do anything about it, other than accepting the reality of this matter. After dressing up, she stopped at the door for some moment, take a deep breath, and prepared herself. Stepped out with new energy to think everything is okay, like someone ready to face a turning point. At that moment, a familiar voice called her. "Are you awake?" Roswitha turned her head and was surprised to see Issa standing there. She had been waiting for her, leaning against the wall with her arms crossed, wearing questioned expression. Although she had been on the rooftop last night, Issa could merely guess what had happened between Roswitha and Leon. Still, she pretended to know nothing and asked teasingly, "So? How was your night? Exciting?" Roswitha immediately realized those traps in the room were Issa's doing. She was in anger, looking towards Issa with irritated gaze, and said with quiet displeasure, "Very exciting. Don't pull pranks next time." Issa smiled, clearly entertained by her reaction. Then, as if a mischievous thought struck her, she leaned in close, gently cupped a hand over Roswitha's mouth, and whispered playfully, "Did you try out the toys I prepared for you?" Roswitha immediately understood what Issa was hinting at. Her gaze dropped, cheeks warming with a faint blush. Though nothing overly intimate had occurred between her and Leon, the subject still made her feel shy. In a quiet voice she replied, "No, not to your expectation." Issa looked slightly disappointed by the response, but chose not to press the matter. With a playful smile, she closed her eyes, raised a hand, and teased, "That's really a pity. Anyway, when you leave later, I'll pack a few toys for you to take back. Practice with them. When are you planning to have another child? I'm waiting for her to inherit my red dragon castle." Roswitha's face turned an even deeper shade of red. It felt like Issa was moments away from uncovering all her secrets, and if the questions kept coming, she wouldn't know how to answer. In a flustered rush, she grabbed Issa's arm and tugged her toward the dining room, stammering, "We don't need you to worry. Let's go eat breakfast." Issa glanced at the shy Roswitha and smiled, clearly amused by her flustered reaction. Though she knew Roswitha was trying to change the subject, she had no intention of pushing further. Meanwhile, in the dining hall of the Red Dragon Castle, the maids moved briskly, setting the table for breakfast. Leon, Noah, and Muan were already seated, waiting for Roswitha and Issa to arrive. Leon and Muan shared a chair, with Muan perched happily on his lap. He gently pinched her cheek, prompting delighted giggles as she waved her hands in excitement. Nearby, Noah sat quietly in her seat, immersed in a book, not joining in the playful moment. Leon looked down at Muan with a soft smile. She clung to his arm now and then, laughing and shifting slightly to keep from sliding off. Just then, she glanced toward the doorway, and her eyes lit up. "Mom and Auntie are here!" Roswitha and Issa stepped into the dining room. Ahead, Roswitha spotted Muan, Noah, and, much to her surprise, Leon, whom she hadn't seen all morning, already seated and waiting. Without a word, Issa turned to the maids and gave a subtle wave. They bowed in unison and slipped out quietly. Muan sprang from Leon's lap like a startled sparrow and darted toward the table. "We can eat now." Everyone settled in to enjoy breakfast. Leon and Roswitha sat on one side of the table, with Noah and Muan across from them. Issa took the center seat, as if naturally assuming the role of quiet mediator. They ate in silence, the warmth of the food offering a small comfort. Though Leon and Roswitha hadn't exchanged a single word that morning, Both carried an uneasy tension beneath their calm exteriors. Leon picked up a piece of meat from his plate and placed it in his mouth. As he chewed, he stole a glance at Roswitha, his brow knitting slightly. Something between them had shifted. He bit down on his fork, thoughts swirling behind his quiet gaze. This is so awkward. Last night, I almost kissed Roswitha, and then I fell asleep holding her. Leon cupped his face in his hands, internally screaming in embarrassment. He hadn't expected things to spiral like that. They'd nearly lost control and ended up sleeping in the same bed. What was I thinking? As if summoned by his shame, a tiny angel and devil appeared in his mind. The angel jabbed him in the ribs with a little spear, fuming. Leon, you're throwing yourself into the arms of your sworn enemy. This is surrender. But the demon laughed and replied, come on, they're husband and wife. They've already done more intimate things. This is nothing. Leon side-eyed the pair in his mind but kept silent. They were already bickering like siblings at a festival. Want to fight? The angel challenged. An angel snapped, gripping its tiny spear tighter. Bring it on. The devil shot back, summoning a pitchfork with a flourish. But Leon was done paying attention to their squabble. He let the tiny angel and devil argue in the background like static noise. Without a word, he picked up a piece of bread and took a bite, chewing slowly as he stared blankly at his plate. This is a little bland. I'll add peanut butter. As Leon reached for the peanut butter, Roswitha's hand extended at the same time. Their fingers brushed. Both froze, startled by the unexpected contact. Slowly, they turned to face each other, eyes locking in a moment suspended between surprise and something unspoken.